So, ladies and gentlemen, there's something about people who don't know me, don't know my channel, just stumbling upon a video because they saw a thumbnail or a title they don't like, and them leaving a comment in my video, like the one I did about Vince McMahon is not evil, and how I don't think that Vince McMahon, based on the evidence, did anything wrong. There was a comment that said, "Really? This is the hill that you choose to die on?" And I'm not going to call that person out individually. I'm not going to mention their name. But that sentiment is very interesting because I've seen it quite a bit when I talk about anime localization, when I talk about Disney movies, when I talk about wokeness. There are people that just come out and say, "Why do you even care? Why would this be the hill that you die on?" And the answer to that is simple. The mainframe on which your internet experience operates is not the same as mine. Meaning that you are used to people catering to you and what you like and what you think is significant. Now, a lot of that is algorithmically generated. But here's the bottom line. On my channel, I decide what I talk about, when I talk about it, how I talk about it. That's not a statement meant to be arrogant. It simply is that if I see something that's on my heart or on my mind, I will talk about it. It does not mean that that one video or topic defines my entire channel or who I am or my whole existence. No. But there are certain times where I see something over and over and over, and it frustrates me. In that video, I talked about how I was frustrated with a lot of these over sensationalized headlines, clickbait titles, thumbnails, and this moral grandstanding from Twitch streamers that honestly, in my point of view, have no position to be morally grandstanding on anything. I'm not trying to make enemies or to make people upset or to start drama. I'm really genuinely not. My philosophy is very simple. You can agree with it or you can not, but at the end of the day, my philosophy is that if I feel that something is important to talk about, I am going to talk about it. Consequences be damned. I make fun of Hassan Piker all the time. I am perfectly aware that he is several thousand times bigger than I am as a content creator. And that's being generous. He has insider access. He knows people in the industry. He is one of the most privileged, one of the most malicious, and one of the stupidest people I've ever seen. So if there's anyone who would abuse that position to try to squash my channel or to get something they don't like taken down, to abuse the copyright system, to do something nefarious and wrong and gross, it would be somebody like him, and I criticize him all the time. It doesn't just have to be a son. My point here is that I don't care who it is. I don't care if I offend you by saying it. I'm going to do a video on Taylor Swift. Guarantee people aren't going to like that because I genuinely do not care that she had AI-generated porn about her. I don't care. But people are treating this like it's worse than the border crisis. People are treating it like it's worse than some of the wars overseas. Oh my God, think of Taylor Swift, one of the richest and most influential and media-aware people on the planet. Imagine this poor, delicate flower that needs to be protected. I don't care. I'm going to do a video on it. Now, are people going to like it? Probably not. But I don't care. This is a hobby for me. And why am I making this video? Because I think far too often people expect that content creators are going to play the game. That they're going to do what any businessman would do. I'm going to do what's best for business, right? I'm going to say what I have to say to get in good with the sponsors. That's not me. If you are looking for that type of content, I'm the wrong guy. I am a hobbyist. I do this as entertainment. I do this because I see things that are wrong and I want to vocalize it in the world. Now, if I am the sole person who believes in something that I say, like for example, the video I did on Vince McMahon not being evil, and I don't think that what he did was wrong. I think it was two consensual adults. I think that woman knew perfectly well what she was getting into. I think she was perfectly fine as she was being lavished with gifts and money and knew what the deal was perfectly well and chose to stay over and over and over because I do not believe, as some people do, that women are stupid, inferior creatures that don't have the mental capability to make a choice and know that that choice is bad for them but do it anyway. I believe that women should be held accountable for their own actions. Many people, Moist Critical included, and I could not have envisioned the video that Moist Critical put out exactly after my video, which was to say, yeah, I was kind of a simp, I was kind of a loser in school. And this is not a disparagement against that. That takes massive courage. However, what I will say is I do find Moist Critical's positions on different topics to be hilarious because the reality is that channels like Fresh and Fit, and I know that's a dirty word to some people, channels like theirs that talk about situations like this, Moist Critical is the perfect example of what they talk about. Moist Critical, if he hadn't become rich, if he hadn't become successful, if he wasn't famous and influential, he would not have any of the things that he has now. Obviously. Goes without saying. He wouldn't be able to attract the type of women that he has. And I'll tell you why. Because with all of that stuff comes a level of confidence. Moist Critical was, what's it, like 5'4"? He's 5'4". He was not a very cool guy. He thought that it would be awesome to be like an anime protagonist. Be very shy. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're shy, that's not a sin. There's nothing wrong with you being shy. My point in this is to point out that there are different types of people with different experiences, different backgrounds, different ideas, different thoughts, different ways that they portray it. The way that I portray it is I have never, ever had difficulty talking to girls. Am I a stud? No. No, I am not a stud. I am not some kind of Rico Suave coming in with my, 10 buttons buttoned down, with the hairy chest and the golden watch. No. But it's because I've always viewed women the same way. Which is women are human beings. A lot of people think that that's basic, but they don't enact it. They treat women like they're princesses. They treat women like they're something special, like they're amazing, wonderful, incredible people. They can be, but the reality is that just like men have the propensity for evil or good, women have the propensity for evil and good. And it is important to understand that you do not believe anything that a woman says simply because she said it. Just like you don't believe anything a man says simply because he said it. You have the ability to judge and evaluate on your own based on the information presented. But I have never once looked at a woman and said, well, I immediately believe her because she's a woman. I've never looked at a guy and said, I immediately don't believe him because he's a guy. It's about the visuals. It's about the situation. It's about taking him the information and making a judgment. If I see a lawsuit that is as poorly written and ridiculous as the one with this about Vince McMahon, I make a judgment. I say, this doesn't smell right. And you know what? I have more evidence to support women being liars and manipulators when they are at that upper level. Like Amber Heard, for example, or lesser known, what happened to Vic Mignogna. If you don't know what happened to Vic Mignogna, all of these woke anime localizers, they tried to destroy this guy's life and reputation and career by making up false allegations. They got him fired from Funimation. They slandered him. They defamed him. They made his life a living hell, just as he had moved from California to Texas to join them, because they pretended to be his friend. My point is that I talk about what I want to talk about when I want to talk about it, from Vic and that situation to something that irritates me, from something that I have on my heart. From He-Man, which I have a video on that's going to be coming out soon, Vince McMahon, whatever the case may be, it's not about dying on a hill. It's about I'm true to myself. I know myself. I'll debate or have a conversation with anyone at any time about anything, as long as it's worth my effort. But that, ladies and gentlemen, I think is an important thing that is missing. Is that you have too many people that are willing to do what people expect you to do, or you think that they want you to do. I don't care. You can disagree with me on every word that I say. You can let me know in the comment section below. Leave a downvote. That's another thing. I know that you're used to YouTubers banning you and blocking you. The only way that I'm going to block you or ban you is if you use a racial slur on my channel, or if you attempt to, a racial slur in like a serious way. Like you're actively trying to use a vulgar obscenity. If it's in a joke, I genuinely don't care. If you're joking around, I don't care. I'm not offended by anything. You can call me, I'm Italian, you can call me a greasy dago wop. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to have a tantrum and cry. But if you start, using the N-word in a derogatory way because you want to make a point, I'll just block you. I don't think that's worth my time. That's beneath me. So, yeah, I wanted to make that abundantly clear. That on my channel, I talk about what I want, when I want, how I want. If you don't like it, go watch something else. There are so many people that are willing to cater to you and sell themselves out. I'm just a small, tiny channel. It shouldn't matter to you what I choose to talk about or how I choose to talk about it. Because my channel is small. I'm just one voice. I'm sharing my opinion. You have other people that will agree with you and lick your asshole and tell you you're a good boy and tell you that you're amazing and all your bad decisions, they're great. The only people that disagree with you are evil, terrible, bad people, and you should definitely give them all your money. Definitely super chat. There's nothing against super chatting. There's nothing against supporting your favorite streamer. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of these streamers are phonies. And I think a lot of them say things for clicks and views. I made that abundantly clear in my last video. Some people don't like it. Too bad. Too fucking bad. Anyway, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.